It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm smileyarriaga.
And today we're going to talk about Backlash and John Cena's interesting announcement. He announced a new tournament, the John Cena Classic, right? And he didn't give any concrete details as to how many people are involved. He just said who's going to be involved, right? NXT talent, main roster talent, and John Cena said there may be a new title. But he said something else that's kind of weird in the sense that if somebody loses, fans can vote on whoever they like. And even if you lose, you still have a chance to win this title at the end of
Whack.
the tournament. I understand in principle getting the fans involved, right? Because generally speaking, fans react to who they like and who they don't like on a regular basis. So I understand trying to, incorporate that into this, but it just makes the whole thing confusing. I don't know. What do you think about all of this?
It'd be simple. Well, I think it's silly. It's
Yeah.
like he had me like, oh, good, a John Cena because like I always praise the John Cena tribute show for being simple. Every match was incredible with no stipulation. It was just and imagine an actual wrestling match with no bullshit. Imagine that shit, right? Now, if you want, you could do that kind of thing in a tournament. I would love that. And then he had me up until, oh, fans can vote on winners even if they lose. And I'm like, wouldn't it be like more simple if it was just like, because a lot of John Cena's best matches, right, are just like very even sided, very like lots of finishers, what I'm saying. Like, what if you just had every match be like a 20-minute time limit, and then it's or just have an actual tournament and call it the John Cena Classic or whatever the fuck. Like, why does it have to be? Why can't it be simple? Like, what's wrong with just wrestling? I don't know. They always got to add something stupid.
But
Like,
just imagine this from like a storytelling perspective, right? Somebody, let's say it's Obafemi. Obafemi goes through the whole tournament, gets to the finals, right? Then, let's say, for example, Ricky Saints is in the tournament and he loses in like the first round. And the fans love Ricky Saints, so he's voted to progress into the tournament and then he ends up in the finals. I'm not saying this is how they're going to set it up, but it was just really confusing how he laid it all out. He basically said that if you lose or win, it doesn't matter. Then what's the point of having a tournament?
it's like here's the thing. Like, if you use like 2% of your brain and think about this, it all falls apart. It's like
Yeah.
it's crazy. No, I just imagine what you just said, Obafemi. Wouldn't that be like the making the best of bad booking, where it's like, imagine Obafemi cleans house the whole tournament, and some idiot fan decides, you know what? Even though you killed Ricky Saints still wins, and then Obafemi gets mad and starts killing everyone in the ring, and starting with John Cena, like he throws John Cena out of the ring into the crowd, and he starts just he kills Ricky Saints again. Like that's like making the best of bad booking. But it's just like, so let me, yeah, you brought up a good example. If somebody cleans house in this tournament, can they still lose? What? It's dumb. It's so, and listen, anime. There are better booked tournaments in anime. Dragon Ball Z, the Cell games was booked better than this.
But
And
you
it's
know
gonna
what?
be booked
Let's
better than
let's
this.
also say this. Let's say again, honestly, we're just going off what John Cena explained, right?
What they
So we're
told us,
recording
yeah.
we're recording this on a Monday. They on Raw tonight, they could explain this further. But
Wait,
let's
we
just
didn't mean
say,
it.
yeah, let's just go off of what John Cena has told us, right? In theory, in the finals, right?
Uh,
Let's say if Obafemi, let's use Obafemi as example. Obafemi wins the whole damn thing, but the person that loses gets a great reaction, and the fans use their voting power, whatever that's going to turn out to be. And what's going to happen? Does he get a rematch?
it's
Like
Mark. That's Mark booking, dude. That's like such Mark bullshit, dude. Come on.
the person who this is going to be a you deserve it meter.
Oh my
Yeah,
god. Oh my god. No, no, no. No. Dumb.
Yeah, I don't
I can't do
understand it.
it.
Hopefully they flesh it out and,
Uh
fix this along the way
no,
because
tonight they should just be like, we didn't mean it. It was stupid. Forget what he said. John Cena was drunk. Forget what he said.
great idea in principle, but it needs to be fleshed out a little bit more. All right,
Anyway,
on to the main Backlash card. Kicked off with Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins. Great. I loved it. What'd you think of it?
this match was fantastic. Seth
Yep.
has mastered the pedigree, the spear reversal into a pedigree. Every time he did that with Roman, it always looked amazing. And like it looked even better with Braun because Braun, I liked how they named his spear the torpedo spear because Braun is literally a fucking torpedo. He's literally, it'd be a great ring gear for him, but make it subtle. Bullet Bill from Mario. Like just a decal on his gear. Like if if you were more of a baby face. But like not don't make it so obvious because he's literally a torpedo. And like the way he moves into Seth's pedigree, that shit looked incredible. And like when Seth tried to do the stop from the top rope and like he caught him midair, and especially when he starts running the ropes and like it's incredible. I love watching him.
Yeah, yeah, it was super physical. It's almost how I thought this match was gonna be, and the right person won in Broad Breaker. They did involve the Vision a little bit towards the end, which makes me think maybe they're gonna do some sort of six man, maybe with the Street Profits or something, and maybe that can set up a tag team title match with the Street Profits and the Visions down the line. I don't know. We'll see what they do.
I want Paul Heyman to announce like before Raw, just breaking story. You will not be seeing Logan Paul or Austin Theory in Division because Braun Breaker just threw them both down the stairs, and they will not be coming back. Like, just do that. 'Cause I'm sick of these guys. Like, literally, I was so enjoying Seth and Braun. Like, and then they came, and I'm like, oh god damn it, that's right. There's still remnants of Division. I don't know.
Well, the Street Profits are back. Hopefully, WWE does something with them. Or if not, honestly, if I'm them, I'm gonna do like the New Day and like reassess my options if their contract comes up soon. I don't know what their deal is, but
Yo, is
yeah,
the tag team division dead? Like even more dead than AEW's tag division?
AEW's tag division is way better than WWE's right
Well,
now.
especially the women's tag division in
Yeah,
AEW is doing great. The women's tag division is doing great. They're doing better than both companies. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the women's tag team division in AEW is doing better than the men, and they're doing better than both tag team divisions here. And well, also the women are trying to do something in WWE too. They're trying to do something with the women's tag
WWE
team
has
division.
barely any tag teams alive right now. Barely any, at least on the men's side. Yeah, on the women's side, WWE is focusing on them,
Yeah,
but I don't know. But hopefully, we see something with the Street Profits and the Vision. Something happens there. I honestly don't care as long as you do something with the Street Profits. But anyway, Braun Breaker winning is perfect. Um, Obafemi is very hot right now. I think down the line, maybe SummerSlam, we do Roman, or maybe in Italy. But Italy's probably Jacob Fatu. We'll talk about that later. But
mm.
Jacob, we could do Obafemi, Roman, SummerSlam. But Braun Breaker's got to be inserted into some sort of title match here. You kill Seth Rollins. This match has been built up for months. We have to get this guy going.
Like Braun, if they do Cody and Punk, Braun can face whoever wins. Excuse me.
Sure, yeah,
Like
anything. Braun
like
Breaker and Obafemi's got to be in the title picture.
yeah, like world title pictures.
Yeah,
Like
not
is
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yep.
world title
Mhm.
pictures. Braun is ready. Especially if he has Paul Heyman with him, he's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. Um, Trick Williams with Lil Yachty and Sami Zayn. This was the worst match on the card. This
God,
was just
really?
yes.
Oh, you didn't like oh wow, damn. Well, I can't argue with you because like on a wrestling perspective, on a physicality perspective, Trick. I love watching Trick and Sammy work together. The story perspective with the fucking gingerbread man, what the hell? Why am I? I'm not surprised, but it's just like really. Is this how you treat Trick Williams and Sami Zayn? Really?
I don't have cable, so I haven't been keeping up with SmackDown, but I would watch, certain clips here and there and certain stories, I can follow without having to watch the TV every week. This story, what is the purpose of this?
God,
What is the story here?
to be
There's no
funny.
story here.
Isn't it
There's
funny when
nothing.
the gingerbread man is attacking wrestlers? Isn't that funny? Oh my God.
Look, all I know is that this match had no heat, barely any heat. Even when, Sami Zayn attacked Lil Yachty, no one really cared.
No.
Um, I don't know. I just think they they're pushing Trick Williams. He's very charismatic. He's over with the crowd. They love the whoop that trick stuff, but he needs something. And Sammy's one of the best workers in the world, not just WWE in the world. He needs something that's gonna help him. I think this program didn't really help him. I don't
Like
know.
watching Trick Williams smack people and look at his hand like Booker T is more entertaining than any of the gingerbread crap. Like you don't need to. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to like the talented wrestlers on your roster aren't enough. We have to insert something stupid that doesn't need to be there. That's the only way this can work. We can't
Yeah,
just have two wrestlers wrestling and having and being charismatic because that's the thing. Like they separate the story from the wrestling, but it's all one thing. If the story sucks, then like it's gonna get in the way of the good wrestling. It doesn't matter what cool shit you're making them do in
but
the
this match
ring.
had no story. That's the
It
thing.
well,
There was no
that's the
story.
exactly. It's bullshit. Like so, like yeah, like they were doing some cool stuff in the ring, but it's just like, dude, we it doesn't distract from how the lack of any story substance here.
There was nothing. And Trick Williams won. And even so, like winning doesn't really mean winning matters. Don't get me wrong
Yes,
here. But
yes.
if you just win a match, it doesn't really mean anything if there was no story, there was nothing set up. You didn't win in such a way that we're supposed to care. To me, this was like a middle of the road, like a middle of the card SmackDown match for no reason. That's what it
Like
felt like. And it had the same amount of heat as that type of match.
this was worse. Like I liked their WrestleMania match. My only complaint about the WrestleMania match they had was that it was too quick. That was my only complaint about that match. I actually wanted them to go longer because the match was starting to get going and then it ended. Like this was like it it was just mostly crap, like in terms of like the gingerbread garbage. I'm like, I can't do it, man. Why you
Yeah.
gotta ruin good things?
Next match, we had Danhausen versus The Miz and Kit Wilson. And Danhausen's surprise partner turns out to be a Minihausen. Now, the way that this was done, I thought was perfect because they had vignettes of Danhausen like in a factory, conjuring something up, and they did the Frankenstein thing, and it turned out to be a mini version of him. I thought this was so damn entertaining, and the Minihausen, this dude, I don't know where he came from. Either it looks like from the looks of how he was working, he came from AAA or something, because everything he did looked so good. He was moving like 96, 97 Rey Mysterio. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but he was just as crisp as a Rey Mysterio was in the late 90s. The Miz in this whole story, how this was all set up, he has been flawless. How like seeing how outraged he gets at Danhausen's pure existence is the funniest thing in the world to me. He gets so angry and he's so frustrated with Danhausen. It's perfect. This is the perfect opponent for Danhausen. I loved how all this came together. I was thoroughly entertained. I was laughing. I was smiling. Not ironically, I was thoroughly entertained by this. What say you?
I like the little person comedy is just like it's 2026. I can't I the joke like listen, I'm not saying the guy is not talented, right? Like when I watched Austin Powers, like Mini Me, right? The joke is oh he's little Doctor Evil, but they actually like developed his character. Like the whole thing here is like oh it's he's tiny, ha ha ha. Like I'm sorry, I don't want to be a party pooper, but it's just like what it's another thing. Like, what's wrong with just having Danhausen work with the Miz? Like, why do you have to insert the Carney stuff with the little Danhausen? Get it? He's tiny. I don't know. I love Danhausen. He's funny on his own. He's literally funny on his own. Like, I don't know.
If it
That
was
took me
anybody
out.
else, if it, yeah, that's your right. If it was anybody else, this wouldn't have worked. But it's Danhausen, and this is Danhausen's character. This was flawlessly executed. This match had a ton of heat. Um, it doesn't mean that every match should be like this because this is wrestling like to the core, right? It started out in the carnivals or whatever. You had your strongmen, and then you had your your little people, and in AAA and CMLL, there's a little person division. I don't know if it still exists, but there are a lot of little persons in it, and it's not like, ha ha, you're small. It's your size is the attraction. You're small. That's the attraction. These people are very, very small. They have people that are very, very huge, like a Haystacks Calhoun or something like that. And then you have somebody that's very, very small. That's the
No, the thing is,
attraction.
like, larger wrestlers aren't treated like they're not like the origins of like a lot of that stuff is like it's like, oh, it's a freak show. Like that's thing. Larger wrestlers aren't treated like that. They're like, oh wow, you're so strong, Liz. But the little people, it's like it's fun. It's like I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm too woke about it.
No,
I don't
okay,
know.
like, look, you don't have to like it. I'm not telling you have to like it. But I'm just saying, to me, this worked. I care about, I did enjoy this. Like, is this my favorite type of thing in wrestling? No, but I thought it was perfect the way it was, and it was very well done. And I look at it almost like, it was a Frankenstein thing, the way they had the little box up, and it was like almost like the Family Matters, the Stefan Urkel thing.
You see,
And
I
then,
hated that stuff.
yeah,
I hated
well,
that stuff.
when he
It's
came
about a
out,
cow.
when it was finished, it was a mini Danhausen. It was almost like this was an experiment gone wrong or something like that. But I thought it was very well done. And the thing is, now WWE has used and abused using little people. And in the past, they have used it as a joke. Like they did the mini Booker T thing in
I mean, that's
2001.
kind of what this
But no,
was.
no, this was not that. This was not that. It wasn't like, haha, this is a little person. It was like Danhausen did an experiment and went wrong, and he's a little Danhausen. I thought it was cool. I didn't feel like this was, this is not, for me to say, but to me personally, I didn't find this cringy. I thought it was camp, but that was the point. I don't know. I loved it. I enjoyed it.
That's the thing. I love Danhausen. What's wrong with just him? Like, in fact, the whole Frankenstein entrance, right? Why can't that just be his entrance? Why couldn't he just come out of the box and wrestle the Miz and be Danhausen? I like Danhausen being Danhausen. I like that. It's just the inclusion of the little people. It's just like it. It's like it real. My reaction was, okay, I'm gonna make food because like this really like
I love
what's
this.
wrong with just like I was saying like this would have been more enjoyable for me if it was just Danhausen and the Miz or the guy from Pretty Deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay, yeah. I liked him too. I like Pretty Deadly. What's wrong with that's the thing? Like, what's wrong with just having the wrestlers be themselves? Why do you have to insert something else? It's like that was like a common theme in this show for me. It's a common theme. It's been a common theme in wrestling for me a lot of the time.
And I honestly think, no, Danhausen was used, to me, he was used perfect. Like this was his character. This is something that his character would do. It was perfect in that regard. Compare that to Trick Williams and Sami Zayn. They were not used to their full potential. And this compared to that, ton of heat. Um, I thought it worked, and I was personally entertained by it. But again, it's not for everybody. But I don't know. I think every now and then something like this can work. Just like if every match somebody's cutting themselves open with a pizza slicer. If it's not a death match tournament, it's not going to really go over well. But every now and then, when you insert something that's a little bit left field, I would allow it. And depending how it's executed, I don't mind it.
Because like the insertion of blood is usually used as like to convey violence and like, oh wow, okay, shit got real. When
No,
you have
no. My point is that if a certain thing is being used, okay, like if every match has a rough bump, bad. One or two, okay. If one match has interference, great. As opposed to every match. If you watch WCW in like 99, 2000, every match running, running, running. Not every match, but a good portion of their main events, some of those shows had a shit ton of, they overdid it. If every match has a DQ, problem. One match, two maybe, okay. But every now and then, if you have something that's a little bit wacky, why not? Why not? Depending
yeah,
on the
but
character, depending on who is used and how it's done, I'm okay with it.
like I said, it's like, yeah, having a ref bump in every match would be dumb. It'd be like cringy. Hey, look, guys, there's a little ref. Isn't that funny? I don't know. Like I said, I just look at that and I go, okay, yeah, like haha.
All right.
I slap my knee and I move on. Like
Yeah, that's fine. Moving on to Iyo and Asuka. Um, this was great, but this could have went left because as soon as the match started, they were chanting, "We want Kyrie." But as the match progressed, nope, that was gone. It was "Let's go Iyo." I was saying to Laura, I was like, this match has to be good because if it sucks, you're gonna hear "Let's go, we want Kyrie." We've seen this happen before. We've seen this happen when Bryan Danielson wasn't included in the Royal Rumble. He was in the opening match and lost. They didn't put him in the Royal Rumble. They just the crowd just took it over and said, "Fuck this shit." But here, they chanted, "We wanted Kyrie." And Iyo and Asuka put on a clinic, and there was no more "We want Kyrie" chants.
well, that's the thing. Like I don't, and I think that was because not that it made them forget how Kyrie Sane was messed up, was screwed over. This match was like Asuka and Iyo were wrestling in honor of Kyrie Sane. So like like they stopped chanting her name not just because oh wow, we forgot that she got screwed over. I felt that because it's like, oh wow, they were doing this for her easily. They were easily doing this for her. That's probably definitely one of the reasons why Asuka got so emotional at the end of the match. You know what I'm saying? Because like it should have been Kyrie standing there with them too, because she was a part of the story for a while. Like
Yeah,
as silly as the story was, where it's like Kyrie's being bullied by Asuka. On paper, that sounds cool. I wish they made Asuka be more menacing as opposed to like very like goofy. But here she was very menacing. Here she was very like she was doing a lot of things to Iyo that didn't look pretty. Like she tripped Iyo outside. Iyo was hanging by the ropes and she like slammed Iyo's head into the turnbuckle. That was brutal. It was like it's been a while since I've seen Asuka off the leash like this.
yeah, and the interview segment that they did on the Raw beforehand, it was very well done. They
Awesome.
spoke in their own language. They didn't force English on them.
How hard is that?
Yeah, and
How
then
hard is that?
Asuka blew the miss in Io's face, and that played into the story of the match. Asuka tried to blow the miss, but Iyo blocked it with Wade Barrett's notebook.
That was awesome.
And
That
Michael
was
Cole was like, she's using her notebook. It was brilliant.
it
It was,
was incredible. Like there was also one spot where it's like I can tell they wish it still looked good, but I can tell they wished it was definitely smoother. Like when Iyo did the moonsault and like you could tell Asuka was supposed to she was supposed to fall into Asuka, but Iyo like when she does that moonsault, she goes pretty far.
yeah.
Like she went into the center of the ring, and Asuka they quickly recovered. But I can tell like because I've seen them do that kind of thing before, and it looks Asuka. We see how smooth she is with submissions, and Iyo was doing some of that. Was doing some pretty crazy submission transitions as well. Like I can barely speak. But yeah, this was my favorite match of the night. Like probably next to. I mean, the main event was crazy too, but this was definitely my favorite match of the night. Easy.
Yeah, this is definitely, yeah, I would agree it's probably the best match. The best just pure pro wrestling match. Um
This should have been at WrestleMania. Asuka should have When was the last time she had a one-on-one WrestleMania
No,
match?
I'm glad it wasn't. I'm glad they had time because they would
Yeah,
have just
yeah.
been, thrown into a 2 night show and we would have forgot about it. But even if it was great, um, but when Io did the moonsault and Asuka quickly turned it into what was it like an
It was like a
the
triangle
Asuka lock?
choke.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Um, even if the spot didn't go as they probably planned, that's pro wrestling. So Asuka just thought on her feet and it's like, okay, let me just quickly try to transition this into a submission move. But it was awesome. It was just and at the end when they embraced and it was very emotional, it was great because you go in, Asuka was like this crazy heel in the beginning, and then at the end they had, such a great match. They had such great respect for each other that just overcame all their personal issues, and it was awesome. It was a phenomenal moment. I would definitely go out of your way to see this if you haven't seen it.
Do you think this was like people were saying this was Asuka's last match, like, or that she was hinting at like this being the end of the road or beginning of the end of the road kind of
I don't
thing?
know.
I
I'll
think
believe it
that's
when
I think that's I think it's like a speculation. If she were to leave something in the middle of the ring, then yes, okay, I would have. But
I'll believe it when
nah,
I see it. But
exactly.
just watching it, it just looks like maybe they'll just reunite as a team because the whole Kairi Sane story, Asuka felt betrayed by Iyo because Iyo had a friendship with Rhea Ripley. And now that's been mended and it looks like they may, reform as a team,
It
which would
was
just
like,
be incredible, by the way.
yeah, I mean, like it was pretty much like trial by combat, I guess. But like, oh yes, I would like them for them to reunite as friends on screen, like the way Io and Ripley are friends. But this match more than anything, I want Asuka in like wrestling one-on-one world title matches again because like she's one of the best they have. She should be always in the title picture.
Yeah,
Like,
but I also think, the women's tag team division needs some people like Paige and Brie Bella. They need opponents, big opponents, not just anyone. So that'll be a good program for them if they decide to go that route. But again, if Asuka goes the singles route, I'm cool with that too. It's fine.
she should be like wrestling the matches that Io Sky is wrestling because she's not like they're equals. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
Um, let's go to the main event. And we talked about John Cena already. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu, world title. Roman won here, but I thought this match was interesting in the fact that it had a great story. And I thought the video package here, again, WWE, they do like to overdo it with it, but these video packages were perfect. They did a if you didn't watch the TV for the past like couple of weeks and you watched this video package, it explained everything to you. And it explains to you the story of the match. Jacob is desperate to win the title, right? So he's kind of like the de facto heel going into this. Um, and Roman doesn't think Jacob is on his level. And what happened during the match? What happened during Roman? He did all of his tricks that usually works. Didn't work on Jacob. And Jacob, towards the end of the match, his desperation starting to kick in. He's getting progressively more violent. He's starting to be more, abrasive to the crowd that was kind of embracing him, even though they were chanting OTC a lot. Then Roman, he undoes the turnbuckle towards the end after the first spear doesn't work, and then that's how he wins.
yeah.
What do we think about all this?
Oh well, I at first I didn't real I thought Jacob was just killing him for the love of the game at the end of the match, but then I saw he undid the turnbuckle. After I watched it again, like he undid the turnbuckle. Also, he has a reason to crash out on him. I really like. I usually hate it. I usually get annoyed with like the overabundance or like the abundance of kick out at one spots. I get annoyed. I find it just like dumb. A lot of the time I do, but if Jacob is the only person doing that, like insert in the right spots, like Brock would pick the right spots to just like sit up after somebody's finished and be like, haha, and not me. Like I like that because and Roman sold it well. He was like, what the hell? Like, because Roman has gotten some three counts with the Superman punch sometimes.
Yeah.
So Jacob kicking out of that, Jacob is a freaking maniac. Like I love how he did the dive into the death grip.
This match was It was almost 20 minutes, but it was just Jacob Fatu's dissension into madness.
I mean, he was already insane.
Yeah, he just went purely, he was purely out of his mind.
Adam Pierce takes better bumps than some wrestlers. You saw Adam Pierce flipped out of the ring.
Yeah, I could believe Adam Pierce trying to, hold
Yeah,
Jacob back because Adam Pierce, he's a badass.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, he got the better of him. He was beating up everybody. Oh man.
He saw what he did to that referee when he like the referee was trying to talk to him. He threw him up until into this Samoan drop. I'm like, no, not the referee. Jesus Christ.
So what do we think about the main event for Clash in Italy? It's probably I think they should run this back.
In a last man standing, or maybe
Sure.
in a cage match.
Well,
Because well, Jacob might jump off that cage, so he might jump off the
but
cage.
WWE and cage matches,
You
man.
see, if you do, let's say, if you do them right, but you know what, you're right. If they can find a way to do something dumb, they're gonna. So,
They got better luck with last man standing matches than cages because
yeah.
people just. But I guess on Roman's side, yeah, the Usos can run in, but I don't know. Look, I wouldn't mind a cage match. I'm just saying, WWE is used and abused and damn near
They
killed
over
the
and
cage
like they
the cage
overdo,
match
they
script.
overthink it. They over fucking
Yes,
think it. It's
yes,
like all this, yeah. Like if you on paper, if you put these guys in a cage and just let them kill each other, it would be great.
yeah,
But a last man standing match would be fine too, honestly.
yeah. And if the end game is to do Roman and Obafemi, Roman should win again. Um, but then what do you do with Jacob? I don't know.
Have him kill Obafemi. You know?
You could do an Obafemi Jacob down match down the line. Um, I just don't see him right now, Jacob. Let's say if he loses to Roman again, which he probably will, I don't see him like going back to chasing the U.S. title.
No,
I don't see
no,
that right now.
no, absolutely not.
I could see him wrestling Cody again. You know, I
That would
don't know,
be.
down the line.
I would like that.
Yeah, it's just I like that the main event scene is a little busy right now. A lot of newcomers coming in, which is a good thing. Um, yeah, what I've been thinking too about the John Cena Classic, right? And setting this tournament up, something tells me like in the back of my head, like politically, they don't want to beat Roman or Cody right now, so they set up a tournament for new guys to win, so they
Yeah.
don't beat those guys. Not saying like Roman and Cody wouldn't want to do business. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm just saying maybe the company doesn't want to beat them. So okay, Oba's hot. We don't want Oba to beat these guys just yet. Let's just put him in a tournament and what have you. But I'm not saying that's true. But I don't
Hey,
know. I can't help
I
but not. I can't help not but not think that.
I still argue that if Obed shocked the world and pinned Cody like the way Kevin Owens shocked everyone and pinned John Cena, like when he was in NXT, that could have happened on John Cena's tribute show. I still argue that. So yeah, like so I think Cody would have been willing to do that too. He's not Machiavellian like that. Like you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Well, we'll see. This to me, there's a lot to look forward to with WWE this summer. Roman saying, like he's gonna be here all summer, and there's a lot of guys that are heating up. You got Royce Keys on the come up, you got Ricky Saints on the come up. On the women's side, you got Sol Ruka, you got the new group Fatal Attraction. There's a lot of things happening. Let's see what Paige's return is gonna do. So a lot of things to look forward to, I think.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
as long as you keep Royce Keys, like just let him kill, just let him like destroy people. That's it. Like no goofball crap. No have
Right.
like that's all. That's all I ask. Is that too much to ask?
And let's get these tag teams back in order on the
Oh
WWE
Jesus.
side,
I
please. One of the biggest matches coming up in Double or Nothing is featuring tag teams, so it can be done.
if they want to.
Yeah. It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga.
And you can listen to us however you're listening to us right now, anywhere you get your podcast. Follow us on the socials, Instagram at the Wrestling Caucus, and we're on YouTube as well. You can find clips of the show there, and the link is in the description to subscribe. Later days.